Hello, I'm Will Sampson from Cabinet Maker FDM Magazine. We're in the shop today to talk about push blocks, specifically the new MicroJig Grr-Ripper push blocks, which are very interesting. But before we get into how they work and what's different about them, let's talk about basic push blocks. You know, there's a push block like this that a lot of people have made in their shop or bought something similar commercially, and it works pretty good for most things. And you know, you can push the work through. But one of the things that happens is if you hold it too much like this and don't apply pressure, you can run it right into the blade. See how that's going into the blade right there? Or it's hard to push pressure, have even pressure against the fence. And then there's ones like this. It's rubberized with a lip, and you know, that holds it down better, and it's easier to put pressure against the fence, but it kind of rocks, and you still could have the problem of moving it in. And then we have the wider pattern, which, you know, that's good and solid, although the foam can get torn up like that one is. And this will work good if you're doing a long board and you can work over it like that. But one of the things that all three of these don't have, all three of these do have in common, is they don't have anything to control the offcut. If you're cutting like this and cutting the board, this board is not controlled, so there's any stress in the wood or anything like that. It can bind. It's not pulled through at the same even pace as the rest of the wood. And that's one of the main things that the MicroJig Grr-Ripper addresses. It has, and I'll zoom in here just a little bit so that you can see, it has 3 gripping surfaces. These are rubberized pieces here, soft rubber. This one's only about 1/4 of an inch. This one's about 3/8 of an inch, and then this one's a little wider, about an inch. And this one is on a movable piece that slides back and forth, and you can adjust. And I'll show you how you adjust it in just a minute. And then in addition, there's this outrigger piece, which adjusts up and down. And I'll show you how that works, too, to stabilize the cut. Let me wind out a bit here. Okay, so if we're going to make a rip cut, we set our rip fence to make our cut. There we go. Put our block down, and first thing we do is adjust the outrigger, and so that it's down there and it rides on here. So that's going to be nice and solid. Then we check through the back and see that our centerpiece is clearing the blade, and then we're set up to go. Let's show you how it works. See how that controls the outfeed part. As you go through. So nice, clean, safe, no chance of that outfeed part, the offcut part, to bind. But another thing that's really cool about this, that I have a personal like, I have to zoom in on my thumb here. I don't know if you can see it, but you can probably see the nice big scar that I have on my thumb from when I tried to cut it off about 10 years ago on a saw, table saw. And so I've, you know, paid special attention to safety. And one of the reasons, what I was doing when I did that, is I was cutting little teeny pieces, like 3/8 square pieces for shoji screen work. And the only way to do that efficiently and safely is with some kind of a movable featherboard working with it, or by moving the fence every time, which is really a pain. And I wasn't doing that, and so I was cutting a piece, had the fence set it, you know, my 3/8 of an inch, just like I'm going to set it right now here. And you know, you can't, you got to have a narrow thing. Even something like this doesn't really fit with something that narrow. And you got to apply pressure against the fence and repeatedly move it. At any rate, what I did is I got on the last cut on the board, and it kicked back, and my thumb went right into the blade. Well, now I have a saw-stop saw here, and so I'm not terribly worried about that. But with this tool, I can cut that kind of a small, narrow cut even more safely without even having to have a feather board or some external push block thing. And I do it the same way. I set it up, make sure I'm clearing. I've got that narrow edge right there. And now watch what we can do here. So now we have all these nice, perfectly cut pieces that came off one after the other without having to change the feather board or pressure or move the fence or anything, and with no danger. You can get, you know, 2 of these, and you can use them so that you can walk over if you're doing that kind of an operation. There's a lot of neat things about these, and I'm going to use these a lot in my shop. And I suspect that these old-fashioned kinds of push blocks are not going to get much use. Definitely check it out, MicroJig Grr-Ripper. The gripper is spelled Grr-Ripper. So it's and it's made in America. A great innovative tool, definitely worth checking out so that you can keep your thumbs too. You can see lots more videos of product reviews on our website at www.cabinetmakerfdm.com. That's what we've got for today. Thanks for watching.